I haven't achieved anything close to what would be considered an ideal balance. I sort of think of it as a giant disc. If the balance is a giant disc sitting on top of a tiny marble and that disc is perfectly balanced, I'm not standing right in the middle. I'm running around on the disc at the edge as fast as I fucking can to keep it balanced. I'm Sendai Mike. I record and mix vocalists, mostly rappers, and that means I kind of just take the sounds that they're hearing or the songs that they've written and we turn those into a commercial product. I was a civil and environmental engineer, and I went to UW, and then I did 4 years in the industry. It was good in a lot of ways, but it did not ring my bell. My job in engineering was very stable, it was very secure, but I was also very unhappy. And so one winter in particularly, I found myself in a fairly depressive episode, and coming out of that, it just all of a sudden became super clear that if I stay in this job, it will be a waste of a perfectly good life. July or August of 2016, I told my boss that I was going to leave the company, but I had a lot of work to do. I was working on a big state project, so I was dealing with that, and then I was also recording every night. Now, working in front of the screen all day, I have to balance that by getting out, and there's a sort of clarity that I find out there that's, sort of psychedelic. Being exposed to nature and the sensory experience of being in nature is, I think, just important for being a human being. Right now, my purpose is to help as many artists as I can achieve their vision through their art, but the purpose for me is always shifting, and it could be something different in a few years. I really fell in love with producing and making music. When you make music, it's just so ecstatic, but as an artist there's so many ups and downs, and as a recording and mixing engineer, I just get to take the ups. I have a lot of friends that believe that art has to make a statement, and I think that's valid for certain people, but I don't think that by definition art has to mean anything, and it doesn't necessarily need to have a narrative or a higher meaning beyond just the essence of expression in that experience of creating. What are my views on business versus art? That's something that I've had a lot of fun experimenting with, because I think just now I'm beginning to embrace the fact that I'm actually probably more oriented as a left brain analytical person with a creative skill set. So I've been having a blast taking creative approaches to building a business and applying more creative skills to the business side of things. For a long time, I built the skills of a producer. Then I built the skill sets as a mixing engineer and a recording engineer. And now I'm building the skill sets of how to build a brand and building a business. And then I'm going to start working on who knows what, but something bigger and better.